Cause he said it to me and Murder, and I'm sitting there analyzing it like, damn, this nigga wanted some bread, or maybe he spent all the bread because he made a couple of million with 5. My whole thing is, maybe the relationship would be good as if you saved some money for your pops when he came home. But I understand how it is to be a young black man with money, and you don't make the right decisions.
I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for it. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross is your...
Rick Ross might be the reason Big Meech's big return turned into a disaster. Big Meech thought he finally had everything lined up. He was ready to make a huge comeback, but instead he walked right into a mess. Rick Ross made it seem like he had Meech's back, flashing cash and hyping up his return. But when it really mattered, that so-called support vanished. Meech got left hanging. His major comeback concert got canceled. That $1 million deal with 50 Cent? Gone. Meanwhile, Rick Ross went right back to handling his own business.
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail. Now we know Rick Ross has this song where he's like, I think I'm Big Meech, oh, very Uber. And that's the Big Meech that gets portrayed by Little Meech on the TV show BMF Power, produced by 50 Cent. And it's ironic, right? I mean, it'd be kind of easy to see why the real Big Meech would like that song by Ross. But if 50 Cent gives your family, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Little Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing. I don't think Rick Ross even gave him $1 million for whatever they did. It was a picture, it was an event. I doubt it was $1 million. I doubt it was $500,000. I doubt it was $200,000. I think it was $100,000 or less, whatever Big Meech did for Ross, and he sold his relationship with 50 for a $100,000 picture, basically.
When we go to your crib and me and Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, yo, little baby ain't give me no money. He came in a Ferrari truck. He had the Ferrari truck. He had 4 pockets full. I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, this tripping. Like, little baby he's not obligated to give you nothing. I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind. Because he said it to me and Murder, and I'm sitting there analyzing it like, damn, this nigga wanted some bread, or maybe he spent all the bread because he made a couple of million with 5. My whole thing is, maybe the relationship would be good as if you saved some money for your pops when he came home. But I understand how it is to be a young black man with money, and you don't make the right decisions.
With money running low, things looked bad for the Meech household, but Rick Ross saw this struggle as his chance. He thought he could help Meech get back on track. When 50 Cent went after Big Meech hard, Rick Ross talked tough, acting like he was ready to step in and take charge.
Now where your yacht at? Where your plane at? Where your fish at? Life can sometimes be like real estate, baby. You might have to knock everything down, build it back up, get it to the value you need it. Took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe, put your back against the wall and just slide down.
Man, yeah, like business is business. A part of me understands a part of that. I do understand that.
Well, they always say there's no permanent friends and enemies in business, just permanent interests.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I understand that 50 got, the ongoing beef with the people and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But it seems like their transaction is just business.
But none of that worked out. Here's the deal. Part 1 of Big Meech's comeback plan was to get him serious cash. Ross thought the fastest way was to set up a benefit concert with XO Touring and AG Touring backing it. The event was meant to bring a big lineup of artists to welcome Meech back. Rick Ross went all out to promote that concert.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose.
But Big Meech was about to face one of the biggest disappointments of his life. Just hours before the concert, the Almarin Bank Arena announced the show was cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances. Refunds would be given at the point of purchase. Just like that, Big Meech's concert was off. Most people thought 50 Cent was behind it, with rumors saying he got both Big Meech and Rick Ross blackballed. Whack 100 was sure that's exactly what happened.
I remember when they asked me, Whack, what you think about the concert? I said, I think it's too early for dude to even be playing with anything. You need to just kick back. I said, it's too early. You don't need to be doing nothing. You eliminate that, ain't none of it on his life right now. It's too early. I said it. When they said, yo, I said, yeah, too early, for him to be doing any of that. He need to just lay back, focus on TV, get his business right with 50. He don't need to be for none of that shit. I said, but I understand why he's doing it, because he's infatuated with that rap. He always wanted to do it. He was never successful at doing it. If you eliminate him doing this, there's no him standing with Rick Ross. There's no 50 tripping. None of it. There's no exposing coming. None of it happened.
Meanwhile, 50 wasn't giving Meech any room to breathe. He posted a picture of the news about a cancellation with a caption saying, "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." He also shared a video from a user named Zip with the drip on his IG, where they talked about Lil Baby and others backing out of the gig.
Hearing already, some people was pulling out of that concert. On February 13th, that Big Meech was having. I know Little Baby ain't performing, right? Yeah, he said he ain't with Gunna no more because Gunna a rap. I know he ain't performing that Big Meech. Yeah, 50 on the internet calling this a rap. Talking about Tammy Cowan. This thing grew some legs. Yeah, but when we was on the internet a few months ago talking about, yo, how Cuffy get indicted, how the Migo get indicted, and Meech ain't get indicted, blah, blah, blah. The kid then grew some legs since then. Yeah, because if Tammy then told 50 and... Yo, 50, let me narrate this, 50. Let me narrate this. Let's get to that. Yeah, New York, nigga, let's get to that. Yeah. Who's going to this concert? I said I want to. Who's going to this concert? Yeah. What's really going on? Let's get to that.
Meanwhile, 50 wrote this in the caption. The funny thing is, they said Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them anything. Lil Meech was 5 when you got indicted. WTF, he owes you Tammy Cowan. Coming soon! And just like that, Big Meech lost the one shot that could have put him back in the game. Now everyone's wondering how he's handling it and what's next. But the real question is, what does Rick Ross have planned for Big Meech? He talked big about helping Meech get back on top. Well, surprise, Rick Ross has tapped out. He's doing nothing and leaving Meech to figure it out alone. When the concert got cancelled, Rick Ross posted one video about the situation for 5 seconds before moving on to promote his own events. It looked like he wasn't even bothered.
Ricky Rose just got word. Meech concert not happening tonight, but 305 is going down at the office. Meet us there. Bam!
Even now, Rick Ross is too busy promoting his own things to care about what Big Meech is going through.
Car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Honestly, fans thought that was really disrespectful, especially since he started this whole mess. If Rick Ross hadn't stepped in and ruined Meech's relationship with 50, Meech wouldn't have needed that concert. He could have just been living off the millions 50 was giving him.
A lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault. So I'm gonna do it. Yo, Rick Ross, this is your fault. You the reason why Big Meech is going through this shit right now, bro. Because when we was on the internet talking about the Cuffy case and all that, nobody even really gave it. But now 50 talking about that, and everybody listening. everybody listening, all right? So, I just want to say, or I want to ask you, did you think that shit was a good idea in hindsight? Do you think it was a good idea to be in the video with me talking about Sexy Red?
Sexy Red.
Yeah, you think that was a good idea? Also, how you let that get the show canceled in Florida, B? That's kind of diabolical, bro. 50, that's some bull. How you let that get the show canceled in Florida? Let's get it out.
And honestly, Meech wasn't completely surprised. Everyone online could see Rick Ross wasn't really a friend, so it's hard to feel too sorry for him. In fact, Whack 100 called it out too.
I said Rick Ross is not being a friend to Meech. He knew what that was going to bring.
That's selfish.
That was a selfish act.
That was selfish. He was trying to show he could control Big Meech to 50. In turn,
Hey,
Meech.
now what you doing? What you doing now? Now the after party y'all had at the office, that's canceled. 50 telling everybody to go to booby trap. Office get canceled. Looking crazy. So that Meech is sitting back saying, I ain't even asked you to come. I didn't even realize it. Now I'm in there. I didn't. My TV movie should get exposed in reputation and then son off too. Crazy.
Horrible move, man. I don't know how you come back from.
And no, Big Meech can't just crawl back to 50 right now, because 50 made it clear he has no plans to make a season 4. Outlet 4 of the BMF series. In a now deleted Instagram post, 50 shared some text messages from Lil Meech where he confronted 50 about the recent attacks on his father. Lil Meech said, "You unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you're managing Skillet Baby with Rocket. When I first brought him around, you didn't even know who he was. Now you're mad at me when I take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only shown you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own stuff, but I never switched up on you." Lil Meech also spoke about Big Meech's connection with Rick Ross, saying it was all about the money. Screw Rick Ross. But he gave my dad some bread so he could pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life, but 50 couldn't care less. Here's what 50 said in response to Lil Meech's text. "What next season, Lil Ninja?" Honestly, 50 is the last person Lil Meech should expect sympathy from. He even joked about Meech's money problems. 50 shared a GoFundMe page on Instagram with the caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb." That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to Quality Control. Safe to say, Big Meech is really drowning right now. Rick Ross offered a little hope though. He posted on his IG stories, "I want to do a real BMF movie, theaters only." Which director? Anthony Fuqua or Quentin Tarantino? It seems serious since he brought it up like this. Look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster small budget series. Now it's time for a big budget film. But fans aren't feeling too hopeful for the guy who couldn't even pull off a concert. The worst part is Big Meech isn't the only one who got played. He messed over his entire family too. He even gave Big Meech's whole family executive producer credits, so the entire crew was getting paid off the BMF show. Given all that, some folks aren't surprised Meech ended up in this mess. If you've watched the BMF series, you know Big. Meech was never the most loyal person. He worked with whoever could get him money, even if it meant teaming up with people who were against his own. What Meech really wants is just to get that paper. But 50 Cent values loyalty. That's what BMF has always preached. That's the real difference between Big Meech and 50. 50 is loyal to his people, while Meech is loyal to the organization. Still, Meech will never admit he's to blame for all this. He's putting the blame on Rick Ross, because even if Meech didn't see how things would unfold, Rick Ross sure did.
Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech, unless he was looking to get 50 out the way, he would have dealt with Meech in the shadows, because he knows me and this dude who is going to react if he sees me dealing with this dude that he has business with. And there was a lot of business left to be done, right? Rick Ross, bro, could have done whatever he was going to do in the shadows if he really honored and respected